and we're talking about roots in the church. So I'm going to start this out with this prayer that I was originally intending it to be kind of a lined out hymn, and that's kind of something I grew up on. I grew up Baptist in L.A., Lower Alabama. And I went to the white and the black Baptist churches growing up, and we had, in the black Baptist churches, they had something that I'd never heard in the white Baptist churches before, and that's called lined out hymns. And so I was mixing this, I ended up mixing this up with a little bit of Bach from my music school days, and it came out with a little prayer. I can't think of a better way to start off. Shines today, or it did yesterday. Oh, shine. that took me all of 5 minutes to come up with. It's a feeling of the world. It's okay. It's not all bad. It's wonderful. It's us. It's about us. Wow. So I know y'all are dying to hear that whacked Catholic song. But I was just going to do some spiritual songs and talk a little bit about my influence with hymns. I'll tell you what. I'm going to do something that was off my Promised Land album, but it's the title, because we're talking about hymns. Oh, yeah, okay, there it is. I grew up on hymns. I liked a lot of the really obscure ones, like, must Jesus bear the cross alone, that all the world go free? No, there's a cross for everyone, and there's a cross for me. The consecrated cross I'll bear, till death shall set me free, and then go home my crown to wear, for there's a crown for me. And then another one I really liked that we didn't really sing a lot in church was When I Can Read My Title Clear, from mansions in the skies, I'll bid farewell to every fear and wipe my weeping eyes, and wipe my weeping eyes, and wipe my weeping eyes. I'll bid farewell to every fear and wipe my weeping eyes. They sang that a lot in the Methodist churches. I grew up Baptist, like it's just really conventional hymns like Amazing Grace. That when you look at the words to them, they're not conventional at all. And on Jordan's stormy banks, on Jordan's, they're major key and minor key versions of that. Well, on Jordan's stormy banks I stand and cast a wishful eye to Canaan's fair and happy land where my possessions lie. Yeah, so it's a little bit of both. When I was a kid, we sang on Jordan's stormy banks in a major key, but then there was a Tarzan TV show. Believe it or not, in the '60s they did they started an episode where Tarzan was in Egypt, and they started it off on Jordan's stormy banks in a minor key. That was the first time I heard that. Amazing, the power of television. When I was a kid, and when I was 16, when I was 15, I got interested in songwriting. I decided one of my first things I did was let's see, on Jordan's stormy banks I stand and cast a wishful eye to Canaan's fair and happy land where my possessions lie, where my possessions lie, where my possessions lie, to Canaan's fair and happy land where my possessions lie. And all the verses of that. And so all of this went into this song. And one night I was having a telephone conversation, and a guy was telling one of my friends from Mobile, where I grew up, it was saying, in 10 or 15 years from now, America's going to be like something you'll just never recognize. And of course that was about 10 or 15 years ago when he said that. But that evening I was just crying, and I was spending the whole weekend crying, and this song sort of grew up out of that, out of growing up in a family where my dad was from people who came to this country in the 1700s, and Scotch-Irish Southerners who ended up in Georgia and then Alabama. And then my mother's people were Italians who came to this country around 1910, 1920. Mamma mia. So I got a little bit of both in this song. So that's the long story.
I miss Mama.
Thanks, Jim. Oh, who will come and go with me, and we will sail the raging sea. Yeah, we will sail for the West Country and the fields of the golden apple trees. Oh, sit right back and I'll tell tales all about the brave ones who set sail before the big jet planes and the cable TVs, before the days of the gated communities. Whoa, whoa, the promised land on Jordan's stormy banks I stand and cast a wishful eye, and cast a wishful eye. They found a land of milk and honey and fields of someone else's money. Well, the grandkids finally got the milk and the honey. Now their kids just say, show me the money. When I was a kid, my American dream was to be the little angel at the top of the tree, where the bells would ring and the choir would sing and the congregation would all join in. Whoa, whoa, the promised land on Jordan's stormy banks I stand and cast a wishful eye, and cast a wishful eye, and cast a wishful eye. Oh, oh, in the first part of a century, my grandparents sailed the raging sea and cast their eyes for the West Country and dreamed of the golden apple trees. But things got bad in 33 and my grandpa sailed back for the old country. Yeah, he left my mama and the family and a backyard full of apple trees. And my grandma died when I was 3, and her sweet face I never did see in a 2-story house in a northern city. Yeah, she sailed away for the next journey. Whoa, whoa, the promised land on Jordan's stormy banks I stand and cast a wishful eye, and cast a wishful eye to Canaan's fair and happy land, where my possessions lie, where I can read my title clear and wipe my weeping eye, and wipe my weeping eye, and wipe my weeping eye. Oh. So there you have it. That whole Promised Land album is like a lot of it's songs about America, different aspects of America, different regions like Louisiana and beyond. And the DJs were great to me with that song. That one shot up all the way to #1 for 1 month there in 2012. I was glad to have that.
Was that folk DJs?
The folk DJs.
It's still a hell of a compliment, and it's a great song.
Thank you so much.
I don't think I'll ever write another song about it.
Oh, please don't say that. But we all go through those periods. We know what that's like. I tell you what, I'm going to get a sip of water and
have a sip of coffee for $10 if anybody wants it.
Oh, that's good. So I could either do start out with what I did last night, even though it's not really late in the night. It almost feels like late in the night in some of these hotels. But I was actually going to do another song that I played in my showcase earlier. One of my dreams was writing New Age hymns. I keep trying to write New Age hymns. And one day I had this song that I had in my head, back in when I was in my 20s. I had this song that went da 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 da. And originally it was going to be like Goodbye Mobile Town or something like that, or Goodbye My Old Town. Because I knew I was at that point saying goodbye to Mobile, and I was trying to find some words to this song that I had in my head. And finally I thought of this. This spiritual song that I'm going to play on the devil's instrument. It's funny, I didn't grow up with that. We were too modern for that. Well, I mean, all we had in the church was a piano and an organ. And around Christmas time, we'd sometimes have the living Christmas tree where people would get up on this big Christmas tree, and Jesus would be on top, or an angel. I later learned out that the violin was supposedly the devil's instrument. So I'm going to play this spiritual song, this New Age tune. Wish I could fly like the smallest of sparrows high o'er the earth for one. Let me start this over again as I remember it now. Wish I could fly like the smallest of sparrows high o'er the earth and far from the ground. And all I would feel then would be the wings beating to gravity's ceiling. I'd never be bound in some other lifetime. I was just like them high o'er this earth for one joyous day. With my wings open, I dove into silence, cold could go. One of these mornings I'll go like the sparrows, free from the sorrows of this world below. Now I am human and heavy laden, longing and waiting to fly once again, free from this burden, free from this hurting. One thing's for certain, free I'd be then, free from my sorrows of this world below. From this burden that is for certain, one of these mornings I go like the sparrows, free from the sorrows of this world below. So that's kind of where that came from, the idea of writing New Age hymns. And I even go into reincarnation. I'm not really sure if I believe in reincarnation, but it sounds like a great idea. You know, the notion of that you could come back as a bird, or
No.
or that you have been a bird.
No, you've got to come back as a person and learn and develop spiritually enough to be in His presence. That's what I'm thinking about.
Wow. Well, I'm working on it every day.
Yeah, just, 50 years you're ready to go into God's presence? What a job.
Who knows? Yeah. I mean, I haven't really studied it that much, you know?
Well, let's talk about it later on.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds like something.
Talk about it now.
Okay. Well, any questions? Any other?
Do you know the answers?
No, but it was questions that bothered me.
It's about the questions.
As a little child, I was crazy for the second coming.
Yeah, so was I, man.
Yeah, and then as I kept getting older, now I'm 76, and I'm going, anytime now. It sounds like the greatest theater ever.
Yeah.
And you know, God, I want to see it, but I probably have to reincarnate for another 2,000 years.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, they kept putting a date on it. And yet the Bible says nobody knows the date or the hour. So I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm just gonna live my life and try to be kind to people. That's my religion now.
I need someone to be kind to me.
What's that? Yeah, if I get Jim going, yeah.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah. Are you guys ready for the Whacked Catholic sing-along? I know, I made y'all wait long enough. Come on, baby.
I hope this will be in Latin.
Oh, I got one of those lines. I only have 2 Latin words on one song. You know, it's it was a love song. You know, like some. I'll show you. I'll show you. Someday all that time in school might come in handy. Till that time I'll play the fool. Modus operandi. Maybe I should sing that whole song. Yeah. Yeah, love is kind of like that. All right. Love song or Whacked Catholic song? Whacked Catholic. All right. I have a couple of, you know, like I moved to New Orleans about 30 years ago, and I went to a Jesuit institution, the Loyola College of Music, or the Loyola University of the South. They've got one in Chicago. And I hear they've got one in California. Yeah, Santa. Is that Marymount? Is that? Yeah. Yeah. So I did not grow up Catholic. My mother did, because she was Italian American. But I went to a couple of Catholic services as a teenager, and yeah, okay, you know. But then I moved to New Orleans and went to a Jesuit university, came out, and then I started playing with this trio that was from all over the place called the Malvinas. And my friend Lisa Markley, she lives in Dallas, Texas, and she teaches at a Catholic school. And then Beth Cahill is the only one in the trio who actually grew up Catholic. But I get the inspiration because when I was in New Orleans, being in New Orleans, you know, you have all this Catholic symbolism, and somebody told me about this little tradition where, as you know, if you lost your stuff, you can say this little prayer, and somehow your stuff will reappear. And I got to thinking about this, and I'm thinking, you know, what if it doesn't reappear? What do I say? So I just figured I was so, but then, you know, like I started praying this little prayer and finding my stuff and thinking, wow, this works even if you're not Catholic. It works even if you don't particularly practice Christianity or no matter who you pray to. It works.
You found my lost Bridgmans that night.
Wow. Hey man, it really works. And so I was so grateful I wrote this song, and it's a sing-along. And it goes like this. Saint Anthony lost and found. Saint Anthony lost and found. Saint Anthony lost and found. Saint Anthony lost and going to sing one more verse, and then this chorus is going to come along. It goes a little like this. Saint Anthony, help me find some place in another time when I held my head high in my town, when there was nothing I had to live down. My father, my mother, old lovers and scores of others, and all the words I can't take back. Help me find the grace I lack. Saint Anthony lost and found. 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 Lost and found. Lost and found. Oh, Saint Anthony, Saint Anthony, lost and found, lost and found. Ooh, Saint Anthony, lost and Okay, wow. I've been informed that Greg Brown is under the weather. That he's going to be here tonight to give his keynote address, but he's kind of fighting it. So,
Call him and tell him I'll do that for him, and he can stay.
okay, that sounds good. Man, it's so great to have a room full of singers. Yes, Andrew. Jim.
No, go ahead and say it.
I mean, you were telling me about how you were raised in the church and
I was
everything.
raised in the church.
Yes. What?
I
Which?
sang in revivals all over the South.
Yeah.
I sang in Billy Graham.
Time to testify.
Testify.
What's the story?
Yeah. Jim.
You gotta finish it. You gotta say
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. We want to welcome Mr. Jim Post. So great to have a room full of singers, man. You guys are great. Thank you.
No, you're great. You're just incredible.
Oh, thank
And
you
I
so
met
much.
you before, didn't I? And
Yes,
that's
a
what
while
I-
back, yeah.
New Orleans. Yeah. It's so amazing. God. I just, grew up in the church, and when I sang my first radio show in the first grade. I had won a talent contest against all grades. I wanted to win second and third place, which was $10 and $5. First place was singing on the radio. And my sister would take me into the other room and say, and I wanted to win second and third place. She said, you can win first, you can win second, you can win third, but you cannot win second and third. And first is best. Well, I was brokenhearted. I didn't want to win first. I wanted that money. God, the amount of candy I would have bought. You know, I could have been out to here by now. Anyway, so, and the winner is, and my school teacher, first grade teacher, she's what a darling. She said she had arranged, this country music band would do this contest to promote their radio show and then have you on a Thursday. And so, so I'm determined to win second and third. My school teacher, my mother brought me Spit and Shine, and she said, you gone last, Jimmy David. Why don't you go play it? I come back in, I couldn't find my shoes. My hair's sticking up. I'm dirty. I've been playing for an hour and a half outside on the swings and stuff. And I walk out, and so I went out and said, I want to win second and third place. Well, immediately everybody's laughing their brains out, you know. And I won first place, and I was standing there crying, and the audience just thinking, he's so happy. And they're clapping. The more they clap, the more I cry. I'm just like, God, no money. So my daddy, all the way home, mother soothing me, and daddy said,
Is this like a precursor for your career as a folk singer?
absolutely. No, I'm wishing that I'd never done theater and stayed in folk music now. But anyway, so so the day of the having to sing on the radio, which they said I was sing on the airways, so I thought I was going to sing on top of the building. I'm scared to death. And the preacher in church said, "Little Jimmy David singing on the radio this Thursday at 2 o'clock. Let's hope that he's a good testimony, give a good testimony for the Lord." So now I have to testify for the Lord, sing on the radio, and stand on a building. So Daddy stayed home to teach Mother how to drive into Houston. So it was lunchtime. He took us down the waterfront. We was a big foreman there, my dad was. A little guy, but my God, he was so tough. Well, anyway, so they just all poured into the diner, you know. And they're going, "Is this the little guy going to sing on the airwaves?" And man, they said, "Think he'll sing for us?" Daddy said, "Yeah." So they stood me on the table. To make a long story short, I left with $34.
Oh, yeah. All right. Hey, would you like to play one? I'll try to see if I can maybe play some fiddle behind you.
Yeah, I wonder if I could borrow.
That's the regular case.
Now I could get my guitar out there,
Oh,
but I'd
okay.
still like you to play some fiddle behind me.
Okay, sure.
So you don't want me to finish the story?
Oh, there's more. Okay, I didn't realize there's more. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
I didn't mean to interrupt.
So I got to the radio station.
Thank you for
And
coming.
as I walked out, I said, "Do I get any money for this?" And the guy said, "Oh no." I said, "But that's okay. My daddy's friends down the waterfront give me $34. And he said, "Well, can I borrow some of that money?" And I said, "No, my mom and dad need that money to bury me."
Oh.
But that's another story we don't have time for.
Man,
Oh my God.
awesome.
About my favorite songwriter that I sing his songs is a guy named Kendall Clark. And I just love him so much. Found him on the bridge in San Francisco. I said, "I'll jump with you." Then he started talking to me, trying to talk me out of jumping. Talked himself out of it. Oh God, and we became fast friends. Anyway, he wrote this song about the second coming. And people always saying, guys who don't know, "Sing that train song, sing that train song." I'd go, "You mean the song about the second coming?" "No, the train song." I'll go, "Yeah, the song about the second coming." "No, sing the train song, the Silver Engine." I go, "That sounds very much like the song from the second." But anyway, he wrote this.
Life is like a mountain railroad.
Yeah, it's much different.
Yeah.
Oh, and like Greg Brown, his father was a preacher.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and Kendall Carp, they were repairing their church, and his father's preaching, and the people putting in the tile just took a break long enough for them to have church, and they left this long aluminum ladder up into the choir loft, and Kendall's up there, and he said, "I couldn't help it. I saw my foot reaching out, and it kicked the ladder." 15-foot aluminum ladder hitting tile. You can imagine. I'm gonna sing it slow, because normally I sing it fast, high, and hard, but the lyric is so good. See you later, baby. When I reach my destination, there's a story I will tell. I'm sensitive this morning. Our train pulled into town one morning, wasn't riding on no rail. Now the silver engine drew my admiration. She was decked in flowers, I recall, and 100 bright red coaches trail behind that cannonball. And when the train pulled in the station, I did not see no crowd. celebration. The people flock out into the streets. They gathered round in breathless expectation, as if some long-lost friends that were to meet. Now come aboard, you need no reservation. Many heard, many took a seat, men, women, and children, without hesitation. Answered to that song so sweet. And when the train pulled in the station, I do not see no crying there, only joy, joy and jubilation as she rose up in the air, as she rose up in the air. Now had come the hour of separation. Some would travel, but some would remain. But a promise, reconciliation, stayed the tears that might have fallen in vain. Now she is gone like some white constellation that is faded with the dawn. But hard to tell, a bright transfiguration, how it lingers on. You know. Play that guy. Okay, Gina, we're gonna play it. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
You're so kind. That's a great song. I love it. It's a fabulous song.
Kingdom Card. Amazing.
Wow.
Oh, you ought to hear Sister Liza Bookman. And,
What's that?
and 3 steps closer to my Lord. Oh, God.
Would you like to do one of those?
No, I couldn't remember them. I haven't done them in a long time.
Uh-huh. Sure. Jim
But I
Post,
will
yeah.
get them together and get them too.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful. And I'll learn how to play it. You know? Yeah. Well, thank you.
Okay, I'm doing dancing.
Oh,
Get
wow.
this move, would you?
Wow.
Fill out the evaluation, put the name of the workshop on the top of the evaluation, and there's a box
Yeah.
of registration for that.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all so much for being here. I think there's plenty of time left. I mean, if y'all want to hear a couple more, and you have questions,
You got almost half an hour left.
yeah. What's that?
Do the one you were gonna do. The one you were gonna do.
The love one.
Ooh.
Bonus on Randy.
Ah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do that Latin song.
2 words of Latin. Wow. Okay. And I will take requests. And I still got a couple of spiritual songs in there, or things that refer to the church. You know.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
It seems that the music in the church is not quite as essential today as it has been in the past, or it doesn't play as large of a role. I'm
Well,
just wondering.
I think it's because people either didn't grow up in the church or didn't grow up singing hymns, and if you didn't grow up in church, you probably didn't have that influence on you, or you just rebelled against it so bad that you want to do more secular stuff. But you know, it's funny. Like in America, one of the big tradition, you know, other than white hymns and so much of the tradition is African American spirituals, and so much of that runs through even, you know, the bluegrass songs, the gospel, even the rap, even soul and rap have that element of the church. Even if people didn't grow up in the church, there was often that influence of African American spirituals and blues. You know, and I understand in the black tradition there's this big fight over, you know, the blues versus the gospel, and from that you had people like Mahalia Jackson and Sister Rosetta Tharpe, who was playing blues licks on the guitar, and yet it was this joyous thing. You know, it like her message was all about the joy of God. Yes.
Don't you think that there's southern churches down south that the music is much more important than you know, the small country churches and backwoods churches, that music tradition is still strong?
I think so, absolutely.
Before pop Christian came along.
Yeah, before pop Christian came along, there was the church. There was southern. And it was even getting watered down in the church where I grew up, in the Southern Baptist Church. Sam, hey!
Sam Hayes here?
Sam Passetti. Yeah, but yeah, even in that church, it was getting watered down, and we were, instead of the old hymns, like you know, like their grandfathers might have grown up with say farther along, we'll know all about it. And it was starting to be, you know, without him I would be hopeless, without him I'd be enslaved, without him life would be worthless, but with Jesus, thank God, I'm saved. But it was kind of transitioning into Christian pop, that kind of thing. And it was a good thing to kind of start listening to bluegrass music and listening to some of the old songs and learning them that I didn't learn in my church. And speaking of which, this is a song that I didn't learn in my church because I wrote it, and this is your request. Normally I'm not like this, solemnly I swear it. But then one day in just one kiss, now all day long I wear it. Now I walk around in circles and my friends all tease me. Normally I'm somewhat normal, why don't they believe me? Years of education, now it's all a muddle. Years of psychotherapy turned into a puddle. Now I walk around like this with this affliction I've got. Will it always be like this? God, I surely hope not. Lately all I do these days is think about that one kiss. Normally I'm not that way, except when I am like this. All that education, tell me, where did it go? All that psychotherapy, straight out the window. Now I walk around like this with this affliction I've got. Normally I'm not like this. God, I surely hope not. Someday all that time in school might come in handy. Till that time I'll play the fool, modus operandi. Now if I say I'm fine now, is it really that hard to believe? Today I come up for a visit, now I never wanna leave. Will it always be like this? Please tell me I don't have to go. Will it always be like this? God, I surely hope so. Now will it always be like this? Please tell me I don't have to go. Will I always feel your kiss? God, I surely hope so. Well, what should I do? Should I tell you what, I'm going to do that one. I'm going to do to get really deep and dark and depressed for a moment, and then bring y'all back up. Is that cool? Yeah, because I'm going to do this song that I did yesterday because you guys are all singers, and well, you can please feel free to sing along. It's not one of those good old-fashioned Kyrie eleisons. Speaking of Latin. Is that Greek? Okay, thank you. Things I did not learn at Loyola. I learned the words, but I didn't know where that came from. Yeah. It's late in the night and I'm driving this highway. I'm sad and I'm weary, but I must go on. If I can go on just a little bit longer, maybe, just maybe, I'll make it back home. Lord, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Lord, have mercy on my soul. It's late in the night and I'm driving this highway, thinking about all the choices I've made. Now I am destined to search for redemption. Maybe, just maybe, I'll find it someday. Lord, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Lord, have mercy on my soul. It's late in the night and my Lord, I am haunted by what I just saw by the side of the road. To think in one moment it all could be over. I look for a moment and then I drive on. Lord, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Lord, have mercy on my soul. It's late in the night and I'm driving this highway on through the rain and the fog and the haze. So is it here in this world of confusion to tell right from wrong as we pass through these days? Lord, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Lord, have mercy on my soul. When ages have passed and the fog has been lifted, what do you think they'll remember us for? We did not hesitate and we read the newspapers and rattled our sabers for war. Lord, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Lord, have mercy on us all. Lord, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Lord, have mercy on us all. Yeah.
All right.
I guess I got time for a couple more. Yeah. I love putting a little bit of Kierkegaard with the old blues tradition. Instead of we fornicated and read the newspapers, we did not hesitate and we read the newspapers. Love it. So, yeah, this is all these things. When you get all this roots music, you never know what's going to come out of you. I was in central Louisiana when I wrote that song. It was just, it took like just maybe a few minutes to put it together. And I was playing, of all things, a mud festival. It was like, it was actually, there was no rain, but they were going to try to put this mud pit with all these trucks and everything, and this, and there was this girl, there's this young woman playing, singing. She was singing karaoke to Kid Rock, and it was about her destination. Like I don't know Kid Rock's music that much, but it seemed like something about destinies and stuff like that. And so I was driving back to the hotel, and that song came to me. And it was I didn't play with that band for very long. I'm going to do two more, and I sure appreciate you coming to listen to me and bearing with us. And I wish Greg Brown gets better and gives a great keynote speech for you. If not, then we'll have Jim Post, I'm sure. All right. We'll do just as well. I'm going to do this one for Sam. You know, like when in spiritual experiences and love are very similar. Like sometimes you just hit the mountaintop, and this is kind of one of those kind of songs. It wasn't like any song that I ever heard, but I kind of pictured a choir singing it, and I kind of got that on my record. Yeah, like a choir of really kick-ass women singing this song. So feel free to sing along, clap along. Come on, baby. Feel free to sing along, clap along. Dance along. You are here, you are there, like a breath of air, you breathed your life into my heart. You are here, you are there, just like that little blue dot in the map in the library. Deep in my heart, you are here with me. Oh, you are here, oh, you are there, just like that first time when you held me. I felt the doors swing and the windows open and the walls came tumbling down. My feet were celebrating what I found. Next thing I knew, they were off the ground. Oh, my feet are flying and the bells are ringing. And joy I'm singing, oh, joyous song. Oh, all day long and late into the evening. Oh, you are here, you are there, I don't care. Let them stare if we kiss in front of everyone. 'Cause now I know that flying can be fun. Oh, my feet are flying and the bells are ringing, and with joy I'm singing, oh, a joyous song. Oh, all day long and late into the evening. As you are here, you are there. Oh, I don't care how far away from this place you may fall so easily. I knew your doorstep was the place to be, and the door is swinging and the windows open like a cool wind from afar. You breathe your life into my heart, and the mountains ring and the angels sing and the feet are flying and the bells are ringing and the world is breaking into song. And all around me is joyous song, one joyous song, all day long and late into the evening. Yeah, you guys are terrific. Y'all are a wonderful audience, and all my friends, and I've been really digging hearing your songs too. So it's really, this is my first time here at Farm, and I have a feeling I'm coming back. I just about drank all that water. I think there's more in the pitcher. I probably have about 10 minutes left, yeah. Any other questions before we go into one final song? Yeah.
Did you say that first song was a line out? You were talking about
Yeah, I was kind of lined out hymns. Oh, often, in the black churches where I would go on occasion when I was a teenager, they would sing them a cappella, like, oh, to Jesus, I surrender all to Him. I freely give. And so often they would just let those syllables, they didn't it was sometimes hard to understand words. And if you didn't already know the hymns, and often those hymns would be really long. Or maybe they'd sing a verse or two, but it was in that lined out style. And so when I came up with, oh Lord, let your light shine through me. It was in that style. Yeah. In Catholic music singing, they have this thing called a melisma. When you sing, oh, and that got into the black gospel tradition, and of course into Whitney Houston, and that's still a real important part of singing in pop music, and sometimes it's overdone and everything, but it's when people can do it and it's beautiful, it's what tradition they came out of, and. Yes.
In fact, it was ancient chant tradition.
Ancient chant tradition?
And it's also very consistent with Arabic.
Right.
Singing. You sing the same kind of...
Exactly. Yeah. Wow. So it's from centuries.
Old stuff.
Yeah. But, the primitive Baptist churches and the white and black, I think, used to do in Alabama, and used to do that kind of lined out style, and probably having no idea that they got it from Catholic hymns or the melismas or Arabic music, or the roots are centuries old. They knew it was old, but they didn't know how old. I mean, neither me. We knew it sounded beautiful, and there was something to it that you would take in every word.
And there's got to be something spiritual about singing it. That
Absolutely.
feeling.
Yes. Absolutely. Any other questions? One last idea before I go into this song.
What do you think the future of the music is going to be?
I have no idea. It might be more poppy. or it may just go back to its roots. I mean, music, I find that whether it's country music or Cajun music or gospel or even hip hop, I find that people are always trying to find something from farther back to draw on. And we, as folk musicians, we are the bearers of that. That we're always looking. We look to experiment sometimes. We look to try something new and different, and then we go back. We go back to our roots, and if hopefully if you have them, then you have something beautiful to draw on. But if you didn't grow up in whatever tradition, then you sort of immerse yourself into it, and then play from that feeling that they drew on. Yes? 5 minutes, okay. Well, we got 5 minutes left. I'm going to leave you maybe a minute or two early. Well, I'm going to, speaking of roots, this is like a bluegrass kind of song. Last song I kind of pictured banjos playing it, but this is kind of like a country song. I had a couple of different inspirations on this song. You know, there's Ricky Skaggs, you know, like talking about the band, this Lost Love song, which he plays an the band plays an old-fashioned waltz. And then, you know, one of my favorite people, two of my heroes growing up were Kate and Anna McGarrigle. And they made this French record, and so they had this one song. I'm trying to remember the French words. So I was sort of listening to that and then thinking about my life, you know, as a youngin' and going astray and being happy, being at peace with it and being quite happy with it. And it's got a sing-along part of this. Goodbye, so long, farewell, good night. The songbird is waiting and ready for flight. The way I am is nobody's fault. And tonight I'll be dancing to an old-fashioned waltz. I might just say to hell with this, it being in tune, I mean. But I think you'd like me better if it... Oh, well, let me try this. On my first record, I put this on my first record, and I had an old friend, a real bluegrass fan, Mr. Pat Floyd, play mandolin on it and sing some really nice brother duet harmony. I think we got it now. Change those strings again. Thanks so much. My name's Gina Forsyth. Thanks so much for listening. Just another old weekend, and I'm here all alone, and I'm thinking about all the people back home. I'm in Louisiana, my folks in Mobile, and I understand now just how lonesome they feel. I remember the church where I used to pray. My friends would pray for me if they saw me today. If they knew of the nights in them old Cajun bars, but they'd never admit it if they'd gone that far. Goodbye, so long, farewell, good night. The songbird is waiting and ready for flight. The way I am is nobody's fault, and tonight I'll be dancing to an old-fashioned waltz. If I could just play those runs, you know. I've been kicking around here some 40-odd years, and I don't think the end is anywhere near. But if it should catch me someday by surprise, I'll just say that I've had an interesting life. Goodbye, so long, farewell, good night. The songbird is waiting and ready for flight. The way I am is nobody's fault, and tonight I'll be dancing to an old-fashioned waltz. Yeah, goodbye, so long, farewell, good night. The songbird is waiting and ready for flight. The way I am is nobody's fault, and tonight I'll be dancing to an old-fashioned waltz. Yeah, goodbye, so long, farewell, good night. The songbird is waiting and ready for flight. The way I am is nobody's fault, and tonight I'll be dancing to an old-fashioned waltz. Thank y'all so much. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. I could have sung that with you guys for days. Y'all are awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you, Andrew, for putting this together. Yay!